Hi everyone, welcome back. Once again, I am Miss Emmerson, and I hope you enjoyed last week's story on If Picasso Painted a Snowman. And if you missed it, make sure to go back and learn all about the artists we met and the different styles or genres that they painted in, or that they created in. I am so grateful for all the likes, the support, and even the creative snowmen I've received. They look awesome. I'm so proud of everyone. This week we're going to look at a new book. It's called Mr. Matisse and His Cutouts, and this is the cover. It's by Annemarie van Haringen, and we are going to learn about the famous artist Henri Matisse and all the shapes that he created around him. So without further ado, and not waiting any longer, let me introduce you to him and his art. Mr. Matisse and His Cutouts. I can already see some of them here. Mr. Matisse was an artist. He had the sun in his tummy, and his colors made everything joyful. He's using yellow, which is a very joyful color. He painted with gusto, which means a lot of energy. Pure, bright colors on high, wide canvases. But one day, the sun left his tummy. Mr. Matisse was in so much pain that he couldn't even sit up properly. He went to the hospital and had a major operation. When he woke up, he was in a white room. There were no colors in here. You'd think I was dead. What a nightmare. Fetch my brushes. Fetch my paints. But the sheets weren't smooth, and the taut like canvas, and the walls and the ceiling were far away. Fetch my fishing rod. But the rod was too heavy, especially with the stitches in his tummy. Then Mr. Matisse spotted a pair of scissors. Look at, he painted all over his bed. Uh-oh. And a bag of croissants that his assistant had bought. He emptied the bag and cut swallows out of it. That's a type of bird. Pin it to the wall, over that stain. His assistant brought piles of paper in all Matisse's favorite colors. Excellent! Now I can draw and paint at the same time. When he got home, Mr. Matisse kept cutting. He cut and cut and cut. All the memories from his travels. The plants, the flowers, the algae and seaweed, the sponges, the birds, and the women. All through the night he cut. He couldn't sleep, and he wouldn't take a sleeping pill. I might lose all the beautiful images I did. Mr. Matisse's room was his whole world, and he was coloring it himself. His assistant pinned the cutouts to the walls, a bit to the left, and that one to the right, at an angle, a bit higher. That's it. Put the snail on the right, over the radiator. That one's too low. The hours pass, the days, the months. Whoosh! What fool left the window open? The woman Mr. Matisse was cutting out was blown from his hands in a whirlwind of images. The woman swirled to the floor along with the other cutouts. She looked just like a mermaid. Lovely. I'll leave her like that. Fine Eden tissue paper landed on his lap. He cut it into the beautiful algae. Mr. Matisse's assistant climbed up and down the ladder, contorting like an acrobat. That means she was going in all different shapes. pinning the cutouts to the wall while he played and played with forms and colors until he was satisfied. I'm creating directly with color. It's what I've been striving for all my life. There's one cutout too many. The snail. That'll have to go. I'm the snail, and this bed is my house, and all I need is around me here. I've made myself a garden to live in, a whole new life, and like the snail, Matisse slowly crawled through his oasis. And if you want to pause here and read all about Mr. Matisse, this is all about his life. Alright, just like last week, now that we've met a new artist friend and learned about all the different types of art that he made, I have another challenge for you. This week's challenge is going to be all about shapes. So we are going to create our very own collages. But before we get started, what is a collage, Miss Emmerson? A collage is actually a piece of paper or art that is made by sticking different materials, like pieces of paper, to the backing or background. So just like Henri Matisse, you can use construction paper in different colors, you can use old magazines, or even newspapers if you ask first, to layer them on top of each other. Be sure to use different shapes, like circles or squares, or even made up new invented ones, just like Mr. Matisse. And then once you have all of your shapes cut out, you can use glue, but you have to remember, ... not a lot, or tape to add them to the background on top of each other. And then challenge number 2 is almost like challenge number 1, but it's easy to do if you don't have the materials. So we are going to make our own abstract art piece with this challenge. Abstract art is art that does not resemble anything real at all, but it uses shapes and colors and textures. So when you get started, make sure you have a blank piece of paper. And then once you have it, start drawing lines going up and down and side to side. They can be straight or wiggly or zigzag, whatever you like. And once you've had those, start adding some different shapes on top of them. So I might have a circle, and then over there is a triangle, and then going through both of them is a line going across, and that's perfect. Keep adding shapes using drawing materials, anything that you have, but try adding a few different colored in spots before you finish. Just like last week, the possibilities are endless, but never stop creating. Thank you very much for reading with me today, and I can't wait to see you next week.